Kitkats can read. Hey everybody, my name is Katie. Welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm bringing you guys my March TBR. So I'm very excited to share this with you, and so for a lot of March it probably will be like passing on a lot of books that are like from February, because I had COVID and long COVID, and getting back into reading and stuff was very difficult, and there are still some books that I would like to get around to reading, so I'm going to first of all mention some books that I definitely will be reading in the month of March. The first of which is the Read Like a Kit Kat book club pick. I am going to extend this book to March because of what happened in February, and the whole point of my book club is that I read a book with everybody and then discuss it with everybody, and unfortunately what happened in February with the COVID stuff, it meant I didn't get around to reading it, unfortunately, so I'm extending it to March as well. So the book pick is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. Really excited about this. This is the first book that's in this series. It's between a witch and a witch hunter, and like the romance and stuff between them, which it sounds pretty cool, and I hear really good things about it, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to giving this a read, especially in the month of March. I'm really excited about this one. And the other book that I'm also extending from February to March as well is the popular book. So basically I've got this little scratch thing that I created. I did do a video towards it, and the one that I scratched off was number 19, and the book that came up was The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, the first book that's in the Chaos Walking series, and it's very popular. It was very popular when it was released. It's still kind of popular now, really. A lot of people still do read it and stuff. So yeah, but I've owned it for such a long time, and I didn't get around to reading this in February, so I'm going to also push this forward to March. The whole point anyway is that I am reading popular books, and that is what is behind each and every one of these hearts. So yeah, the whole point is to just scratch one off, and then when I've read that popular book I then scratch another one off. So this is the book choice for February and March. So next of all I'm going to be choosing the wrapped book that I'm going to be unwrapping for the month of March. So I've got my spinny up here up to number 10. I've got 10 books left to unwrap, so let's spin and see what number we land on. We land on number 7, if you guys can see that, number 7. So we are going to unwrap number 7. Where are we? Here's number 7. Oh, it's quite chunky, and it's a paperback, I want to say. Oh, this is number 7 anyway, just so you guys can see. What is this book? What is this book? Number 7. What are you? Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. Oh my god, it's a graphic novel. Oh man. Ooh, I'm really excited. Oh man. Yeah. Okay, so what I've unwrapped is the card captor Sakura, and this is the book number 1 bind up. Oh man. Oh, this is so cool that this has come out, because yeah, oh my god. Oh man. I'm so excited to read this. I love card captor Sakura so much. It's a graphic novel as well, which means this won't take long at all. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited that this has come out. So this is March's unwrapped book. Welcome to World of Kitkats March version. So this will be interesting because I've still got the drunk feeling, and yeah, let's see how this goes. So this was a position that we finished in with the counter over here for February, and I've got the dice here, and I'm going to roll the dice to determine exactly how many books we are going to be reading in the month of March. Oh, be nice to me, be nice to me. Ooh, 3 books. That is very generous because that means that if I read the 3 books that I choose, I can read whatever I want. So I've got my paper clipped board here, which we're going to be clipping the cats to. So next of all, it's time to move our counter to see what it lands on. So we've got here, oh, we've got an 11, so it's a big jump. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have landed on a black kitty. So I'm going to clip my black kitty, which here's my black kitty, and we're going to clip it onto the board here, like so. Black kitty. Ta-da! Now we roll for our number 2. Dee-dee. We got a 3. So we go 1, 2, 3. We have landed on a red cat. So I've got my red cat token here. It's going to go onto the board here for red cat. Okay, time to roll for our 3rd and final book. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've landed on a yellow cat. So yellow cat, going to go onto the board here. There we are. And we have our 3 coloured cats for the month of March. So we have 3 cats that came out of the World of Kitkats game: black, red and yellow. So black cat corresponds to ebook. So for this one, I'm going to be putting a buddy read along with Cece's reading journey. We are going to be buddy reading an ebook together. It hasn't quite been decided yet, so Cece is just in the process of deciding it. But once that is decided, I will definitely announce it, like on Twitter. So follow me on Twitter if you're not doing already, to find out what that ebook is going to be. As for red corresponds to children's / middle grades. So for this one, I have put the 3rd book in the Dolphin Diary series, which is Riding the Storm. So yes, a continuation in this series, and I've seemed to be reading 1 a month so far. They're really quick and short and easy reads, so yeah, this would be perfect to add onto the month of March. And then yellow cat, which is the final cat that came up, corresponds to fantasy. So for this one, I'm going to be putting A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer Armentrout. This is the sequel to From Blood and Ash, which I read in January. Absolutely loved it, and I received this in the month of February. So yeah, I'm really happy that I have this now. Again, another beast of a book. I'm told this book is a lot better, so I'm really excited to give this a read. Man, I just can't wait. So I had to put this on the fantasy cat, but yeah, I'm so happy that fantasy came up for me to have a chance to put this on. Now I've already got quite a few books on my TBR with my group book club. I've got the unwrapped book, I've got the popular book, and I've got the 3 books that have come out of World of Kitkats. but at the same time there are going to be like other books that I would like to pick and choose from as well. These next couple of books are review books anyway, so I would like to try and get to these during the month of March. I have already started one of them in February. We've still got a few days left of the month, so we shall see how it goes. But this first one is The World Between Us by Sarah Ann Jukes. This is the story of a girl called Alice who is bedbound. She's chronically ill, and she uses a streamcast to stream with people who are sort of experiencing life. So she gets to experience life through other people through this streaming service. Like, it sounds quite crazy and quirky and yeah, different. But yeah, this comes out at the beginning of March, so it'd be great to get this read. And the other review book that I received during the month of February was Game Changer by Neil Shusterman. This is now released. I read Dry by Neil Shusterman, really enjoyed it so much. So I have high expectations for his next book. This is about Ash, who ends up kicking a football and goes through to like an alternative universe or something like that. It sounds like pretty crazy and wacky. But yeah, I have high hopes for this book, and I hope that I do enjoy this one. And Scribd have just uploaded the audiobook to this book as well, so that's brilliant. I've got an audiobook to go along with it. I've got some currently reading books that I'm in the middle of that I'm just going to mention anyway. So The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hwang I did start in the month of February, and I am on chapter 8, page 63, so I'm a little way through this. I was like reading this / listening to the audiobook, so we shall see if I continue this during the month of March. The next of which is Tiny Pretty Things by Sarah Potter and Doniel Clayton. This I started in January, but I never got around to continuing on with it in the month of February, so this could be a possibility as well for March. And the third one is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. This is the second book that is in this series. I'm buddy reading this along with Rosie, aka VP, and it's a big book, so I'm not sure if we're going to get this finished in February, but it's a book that I'm currently reading at the moment. This next book is for the BTS readathon, and that is the group read, which is I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. This is a K-pop novel. I got it for my birthday, so yeah, it would be good if I can get round to reading this in March. I've then got a couple of other new releases that I've got a big urge to read, so it could be possible that I could read this during the month of March. The first of which is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a Shanghai Romeo and Juliet, so I'm really excited about this one. I'm happy that I got it with some birthday money, and I hear fantastic things about this book, so hopefully I can get around to reading that in March. And I've also got Crave by Tracy Wolff. I'm told this is this generation's Twilight. I love Twilight, so yeah, I hear really good things about this book though, and yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one hopefully in the month of March. And then I've got some books here that I'm also going to push forwards from February if I don't get around to reading them. The first of which is It Only Happens in the Movies by Holly Bourne, and this was my unwrapped book for February, but if I don't get around to reading it, I will just end up pushing it forwards anyway to hopefully have time to read it in March. And the other one is The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. This is the first book that is in the Iron Fae series, and yeah, I've owned this for such a long time. I really do want to give it a read, so hopefully I can get around to reading that. And then I've got some rereads that I've just picked out of the bookshed, and these are just possibilities. So the first of which is Shatter Me by Tara Murphy, the first book that's in the Shatter Me series. I first read the first couple of books that were in this series, including the novella Bind Up, and since then it's become a series, and so I'm like, okay, I need to reread the first couple of books in the series and then continue on with it. So Shatter Me, I do have a big urge to give it a reread, so hopefully I can get around to reading that. Next of all, I've picked up Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I read like all of the books that are in this series apart from the new book that was told from the guy's perspective. of the first book. So yeah, but I do have an urge to reread this series because I don't remember like a lot of what happened. I read it like 5-6 years ago, so yeah, it was a while ago since I read this. But yeah, I would like to give this a reread. Really enjoyed it the first time around, so we shall see if I get around to reading that in March. Another reread I picked up is Half-Blood by Jennifer Armentrout, the first book that's in the Covenant series. I read the first 2 books in this series, never managed to continue, so it's another series that I need to reread and continue on with. I really enjoyed this first book. These are about half-bloods who are the descendants of Hermitoys, which are the descendants of pureblood. So basically you get 2 Hermitoys which create purebloods, and then you have Hermitoy immortals that create half-bloods. So yeah, it's quite interesting. So we shall see if I get around to reading that in March. Another reread I've picked up is Wicked by Jennifer Armentrout. I saw a video in the month of Feb of somebody reading like the 2nd or the 3rd book in this trilogy, and I was like, oh, now I really want to reread the first book. So yes, this was on my reread list anyway, but I've got such an urge to give it a reread. But this is a new adult paranormal novel. I loved it the first time around, and I do own the 2nd and the 3rd book, so we shall see about that one. Another reread I've got here is Princess Diaries Take 2, the 2nd book in the Princess Diaries series by Meg Cabot. The first one I reread like last year, I think. But yeah, really enjoy this series so much. So yeah, I just want to continue on with it. I never actually read the final book in the series, but I'm happy to reread it all again because they're such fun books, and yeah, hopefully I do enjoy rereading this one if I get around to it in March. The other reread I've got here is The Duff by Cody Kecklinger. Got a big urge to give this a reread, so this could be a possibility that I could get to in the month of March. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a contemporary that I loved reading the first time around, and didn't get around to reading it in February, so hopefully I can reread it in the month of March. Another book that I would like to reread at some point soon, hopefully in the month of March, is Unremembered by Jessica Brody. I read the first 2 books in this trilogy way back, and I loved them, like proper loved them, like obsessed over them. So it'd be interesting to see like a few years later if I still have the same thoughts and feelings on this book series, but I really just love this book. So I do have quite an urge to read it, so it'd be good if I could somehow get it read during the month of March. I've also got here Fated by Alison Noel. This would be a reread as well. This is the first book that's in the Soul Seeker series. I've only ever read the first book, so I need to reread it because the first time it took me a lot to get into the book, and I ended up giving it like 3 out of 5 stars because of that. But I want to give it a chance because I really enjoy Alison Noel's other books. So another book that I would like to reread soon is Alienated by Melissa Landers. This is the first book that's in this series. I do have the sequel to this, so yeah, I need to reread it because I don't remember anything that happens in it. But yeah, we should see if it is a book that I pick for March. And another reread is Wake by Amanda Hocking, the first book that's in the Water Song series. I loved this book when I first read it, but this, I'm talking, is years ago. So we shall see if I hold the same thoughts on this book when I get around to reading it. And then I've got a couple of books here as well. This is Abandoned by Meg Cabot. I've got quite an urge to give this a read. I've owned this, well, this actual copy is quite new. I've got it this year, but I did used to have the paperback of it that I owned for years. So yeah, I've got quite an urge to give this book a read, so we shall see if I get around to reading that in March. And the unwrapped book for January was Made for You by Melissa Marr, and I did start reading this in January, and this I got like 50 pages in, but yeah, I was really enjoying what I was reading so far, so I'm going to push this forward to March as well and see if I can get around to reading it. So, big selection of books that I've got there, but they're just some books that I'm going to be picking and choosing from, as well as, you know, reading my main TBR books. These are just some books that I've got a big urge to read, but we shall see what happens during the month of March. This is not a massive TBR, it's just, you know, if I do decide to pick one of these books, I thought I'd mention them in this video because they could be a possibility as well, but it all depends on how I feel and how things go and everything, but we shall see. I've got a lot of books that I've mentioned in today's video, but yeah, I'm excited to read these all the same, and fingers crossed I will enjoy some of these books. I'm really excited about a load of these books. I don't even know where to start, if I'm completely honest. We shall see. Just wanted to quickly add some book series that I'm going to be reading in March as well. I'm really excited to read them. So I've got the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I'm currently rereading the second book, and when I was sorting out the shed today I found Court Wings and Brewing in there, which is brilliant. I'll just have to find A Court of Frost and Starlight, which will be somewhere around, but that's for another day. I've also got the Grishaverse books out of the shed as well. Got Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising, and then I have got the Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom, King of Scars. I've got those out of the shed. They're just over there on top of my TBR cart, which I took out of the shed as well. And also all of the Shadowhunter books that I have yet to read. So I'm on Clockwork Princess. I'm currently reading these in publication order, and I've got all of the others in publication order sat waiting on the TBR cart as well, but I'm going to be reading from those. I also grabbed After We Collided by Anatole, which is a sequel to After, and I really want to read that so that I can watch the movie to it, because I've managed to be able to get a link to watch it because it's on Amazon Prime now, so I'm like, yay! So yeah, I just wanted to quickly add that the series I'm going to be reading from in the month of March as well. So that is the end of my March TBR. I've mentioned my World of Kitkats, I've mentioned my book club read, and also my unwrapped book. The other books I'm just going to be picking and choosing from if I do decide to read one of them. They're just some books that I've got a big urge to read, and you know, whether I get around to reading them in March is a different story, but I just wanted to mention some books that I do actually want to read, but whether I get around to reading them, it's a different story, but we shall see. So that's it. If you've read any of these books in today's video, then do let me know down below in the comments what you thought about them, even if you didn't like it. It's just always great to share an opinion. If there's any of these books I've mentioned in today's video that you would like to also buddy read along with me during the month of March, then that's fine, because I'm always up for a buddy read. To reading something with somebody I think is brilliant. So yeah, really looking forward to if there's any buddy reads going on. But yes, if you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. All of my social media links will be linked down below in the description if you'd like to follow me elsewhere. Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, my wish list, my book blog, my gaming channel. It's all down there below if you'd like to check me out elsewhere. And let's be friends, because being bookish friends is awesome and it's what BookTube is all about. But that's it from me, guys. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy, and most importantly, please stay safe. My name is Katie, and I will see all of you wonderful, awesome people in my next video. Bye!